So much happening in the sporting world, also in the weather today. So let's check in with Nate.
Indeed, we may see some more showers in Sydney today, PK and Lisa. Georgie too. Hopefully we can do something with the cricket and maybe the rest of the sport. But in the weather, we've got some troughs that have been triggering severe storms right across the north overnight. Some warnings there, all now cancelled. Meanwhile, in the east, you're preparing for some wild weather. The approach of ex-tropical cyclone Penny is really going to bring the weather to a very wet and windy place. Meanwhile, in the south, last week's heat is a distant memory. Southerlies have really cooled things down. We've got this ridge of high pressure across the south, keeping the skies relatively settled. Now, even though it's no longer a cyclone, there is a chance that the remnants of Penny could re-intensify. Now, even if that doesn't happen, we're looking at some fairly wild weather. Warnings are current for damaging winds gusting to 90 kilometres an hour and some heavy rainfall which may lead to flash flooding. We're looking at the possibility of a couple of 100 millimetres as it comes in later on tonight. Now, away from the stormy central coast of Queensland, we've got showers for the rest of Queensland's east and also some storms for the peninsula and for Gulf country, and there's a trough with some stormy weather from the northwest down into the southeast. Brisbane's looking at a possible morning shower. It's a top of 30 degrees later. And talking storms, we've got plenty on the forecast for the central west of New South Wales, the northwest and the northern ranges, and there's some wet weather around for the central and northern coasts. So Sydney, you're looking at a possible shower. It'll be cloudy as well, getting to 24. In Canberra, a mostly cloudy day, 28 is the top there. In Victoria, we started with a little bit of cloud and some drizzle in the south. It is clearing off though. It's going to be a fine and cool day. Melbourne getting to 24, staying mostly sunny later. And in Tasmania, we've got a few showers around the west and the far south this morning. Now they're clearing off, and then we're seeing more wet weather developing along the east coast tonight. Also, all that smoke you've had through Tasmania, especially in the south and the east, should start clearing this afternoon. Hobart, a possible late shower, 22. And over in South Australia, a little bit of wet weather for the lower southeast this morning. Otherwise, it's a dry day. Still quite hot if you're in the north. Adelaide's getting to 29, staying mostly sunny. And in Western Australia, we've got a couple of coastal showers between about Windy Harbour and Israelite Bay for the south coast. Otherwise, it's clear skies. Perth staying sunny, getting to 34. Now, further north, hot gusty winds around the Pilbara are increasing the fire danger. Severe and extreme conditions ahead today. And we've saw warnings this morning now cancelled through the territory, but still plenty of storm activity for northern WA and for the NT as well. But south of Tennant Creek, it should be blue skies. Darwin, a shower or two, possibly a storm as well, 34. Now, tomorrow, we are going to be keeping a close eye on ex-tropical cyclone Penny. Conditions are going to deteriorate. It's likely to start taking a little bit more of a northerly coast, heading towards Cairns. Meanwhile, for the capital, storms returning to Canberra.
Thank you very much, Nate. Before we go back to our top story, let's just check in on one of our snippets, and that is the blue bottle stinging people in Queensland. Not to be outdone, Lisa, I know the Queenslanders are proud of their stingers. Jane has written in and said that, with a photograph in fact, saying that at Redbill Beach in Bicheno on the east coast of Tasmania, there were a few stingers around there over the Christmas period.
And people are spotting them in Torquay as well. Where is our... Breezer 211 sends a note saying that they're on Torquay Beach on Christmas Day, but it was the numbers of people stung in Queensland that was pretty stunning, actually. I've not seen that number of people stung, and it is unpleasant.
Yeah.
It is very unpleasant.
They're cute little things until they wrap themselves around your arm in the water. But Lifesavers into overdrive on the weekend, helping people through
Absolutely. But if you've seen them, spotted them elsewhere around Australia, or you think their numbers are in greater force out there, then let us know, because we were curious to see that in Tasmania and on the coast of Victoria. Now, let's go back to that story about the rally in St Kilda in Melbourne over the weekend. Absalom Nagar is the CEO of the not-for-profit Youth Refugee Services organisation, I Empower, and he says the idea of telling refugees to go back to where they came from is distressing.
Many of us, including myself, lived in refugee camps. Where do you go? Where do children and young people go? Not every young person in the state of African descent commits crime. The overwhelming majority of young people are just doing fine.
But I know you said that it's been difficult on young people and children within your community.
I attended a community event yesterday, and a young girl, a teenager, asked me, while they say that we should go back to where we come from. And certainly she doesn't know where she came from. She knows her cultural heritage, but her parents lived in refugee camps. She was born in a refugee camp. So it is quite distressing for young people because they feel they're Australians, they're fairly Australians, and when someone says to them, just go back, where do you go?
They're talking about this perhaps being a regular event, and police have said, well, they're allowed to protest. What needs to happen right now as we talk about this over the next couple of days?
Well, I think no one in this state and in this country can say that there shouldn't be freedom of speech. I mean, people are entitled to protest, but it's, I think, the content of and basically the message that comes from these protesters isn't about how we should be building our societies. This is a very divisive and a very ugly and very racist protest. They don't have any solutions. Even if they thought there were a crime committed by young people, they're not offering any solutions. What they're saying is that a group of people who live peacefully in this state to go back to where they come from, and there is no way that we will be going anywhere because we are Victorians, we are Australians, and this is our state, this is our country, like everyone else, and we are contributing like everyone else. And I guess where do we go from here? We build a cohesive and a diverse society as we did in the last 50 years.
Absalom Naga speaking on behalf of his community this morning. Brain